I'm John, a 32-year-old man who was happily married to Megan, 30F, for the past 5 years. We live together with my younger brother Alex, 28M, in a spacious house I bought a couple of years ago. Both Alex and I were successful businessmen, running a family company our father started. We expanded it significantly over the years. Alex and I were always close. We shared everything growing up, from toys to secrets. He was my best friend, my confidant, and the person I trusted the most in this world. When I bought the house, it felt natural to invite him to live with us. Megan and I didn't have kids yet, so we had plenty of space. Plus, I thought it would be great for Alex to save some money while he was still establishing himself in the business world. Megan and I met in college. She was studying art history while I was doing my business degree. We hit it off immediately, bonding over our shared love for old movies and spicy food. After graduation, we dated for 2 years before I proposed. Our wedding was a small, intimate affair with close family and friends. Alex was my best man, of course. Life was good. Our business was thriving, my marriage was strong, and I had my brother by my side. We worked hard during the week and often spent weekends together, having barbecues in the backyard or going on short trips. Last month, I had to go on a week-long business trip to close an important deal. It was a success, and I managed to wrap things up a day early. I decided to surprise Megan and Alex by coming home unannounced. I imagined their happy faces when I'd walk through the door, maybe with some takeout and a bottle of wine to celebrate. I arrived home late in the evening. The house was quiet, but I saw lights on upstairs. I quietly made my way up, planning to surprise Megan in our bedroom. As I approached, I heard muffled sounds. My heart started racing, but I told myself I was being paranoid. I pushed open the door. What I saw next will haunt me forever. Megan and Alex were in our bed, naked and entangled. They didn't notice me at first, too lost in their passion. I stood there, frozen, unable to process what I was seeing. My wife and my brother. The two people I trusted most in this world, betraying me in the worst possible way. I must have made a sound because they suddenly looked up. Their faces changed from pleasure to shock to guilt in a matter of seconds. Megan scrambled to cover herself with the sheets, while Alex jumped out of bed, hastily pulling on his pants. "John," Megan gasped, her face pale. You're home early." I couldn't speak. I felt like I was in a nightmare, desperately wanting to wake up. But this was real. Too real. "Bro, Alex stammered, unable to meet my eyes. "How could you?" I finally managed to say, my voice barely above a whisper. "How could you do this to me?" Megan started crying. "John, I'm so sorry. We never meant for this to happen. It just did." "Just happened?" I repeated, my shock turning to anger. "Things like this don't just happen, Megan. You made a choice. Both of you." Alex stepped forward, his hands raised in a placating gesture. "John, please. Let's talk about this. It was a mistake. We were weak. It won't happen again," I laughed bitterly. "A mistake? Is that what you call fucking my wife in our bed, Alex? A mistake?" "John, please," Megan pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "We can work through this. I love you." It didn't mean anything. Her words felt like a slap in the face. "Didn't mean anything? So you threw away our marriage for something that didn't mean anything?" I couldn't stand to be in that room any longer. I turned and walked out, ignoring their calls. I got in my car and drove, with no destination in mind. I just needed to get away. For the next few days, I stayed at a hotel, ignoring the constant calls and messages from both Megan and Alex. I couldn't face them. I couldn't face anyone. I felt like my whole life had been a lie. The woman I loved, the brother I trusted, they had betrayed me in the worst possible way. Friends called, worried about my sudden disappearance, but I couldn't bring myself to tell them what happened. I was embarrassed, angry, and heartbroken. I kept replaying that moment in my head, torturing myself with the images of Megan and Alex together. I didn't know what to do next. The thought of going back home made me sick. The thought of facing Megan and Alex filled me with dread and rage. I had built my life around these two people, and now I felt lost. As I sat in my hotel room, staring at the wall, I realized I needed to confront them. I needed answers. I needed to know how long this had been going on, how they could betray me like this. But most of all, I needed to figure out what to do with the broken pieces of my life. Tomorrow, I decided, I would go back home. Not to reconcile, not to forgive, but to get the truth. And then, I would decide what to do next. My life as I knew it was over, but I was determined not to let their betrayal destroy me completely. Update 1, the truth comes out, and it's worse than I thought. It's been a week since my last post. First, I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. It's been a difficult time, and your words have given me strength. After a few days of avoiding Megan and Alex, I finally went back home to confront them. I needed answers, no matter how painful they might be. When I walked in, Megan and Alex were sitting in the living room. They looked terrible, like they hadn't slept in days. Good, I thought. They should feel bad. How long? I asked without preamble. How long has this been going on? Alex spoke first. John, it was just that one time. I swear. We never meant for it to happen. I looked at Megan, waiting for her to confirm or deny this. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Megan? I pressed. She started crying again. I'm so sorry, John. It wasn't just once. My world shattered all over again. How long? I repeated, my voice hard. 3 months, she whispered. 3 months. A quarter of a year. While I was working hard to provide for our family, they were sneaking around behind my back. Why? I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. Alex tried to explain. We were weak, John. It started innocently enough. Late night talks when you were working late. Comforting each other when we were lonely. And then, it just happened. Just happened, I repeated bitterly. You keep saying that like it absolves you of responsibility. We never meant to hurt you, Megan said. I laughed humorlessly. Well, congratulations. You failed spectacularly at that. I told them I wanted a divorce. Megan cried harder but didn't argue. Alex looked devastated but remained silent. Over the next few days, I started the process of separating our lives. I moved out of the house, letting them deal with the memories we'd made there. I couldn't stand to be in that space anymore. As I was going through our financial records to prepare for the divorce proceedings, I noticed something odd. There were several large transfers from our joint account to an account I didn't recognize. When I investigated further, I discovered it was Alex's personal account. Confused and suspicious, I confronted Megan about it. At first, she tried to brush it off as a mistake, but I pressed harder. Finally, she broke down and revealed the truth. Alex has been blackmailing me, she confessed. I was stunned. Blackmailing you? With what? Megan explained that after their first encounter, she had wanted to end it. She felt guilty and wanted to confess to me. But Alex threatened to tell me himself if she didn't continue the affair. He also demanded money, claiming he needed it for some personal investments. Why didn't you just tell me then? I asked, struggling to understand. I was scared, she said. I thought I'd lose you. And then it just got more and more complicated. I felt sick. My own brother had not only slept with my wife but had been extorting her as well. The betrayal ran even deeper than I'd initially thought. I confronted Alex about the blackmail. He tried to deny it at first, but when I showed him the bank statements, he crumbled. I'm sorry, he said, looking genuinely remorseful. I don't know what came over me. I was jealous of what you had with Megan, of your success. I wanted something for myself. So you decided to take my wife and my money? I asked incredulously. He had no answer for that. I'm now in the process of not only divorcing Megan but also severing all ties with Alex. I've frozen our joint accounts and I'm working with a lawyer to protect my assets and the business. The pain of their betrayal is still fresh, but now it's mixed with anger at their deception. I trusted them both, and they took advantage of that trust in the worst way possible. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I know it won't include either Megan or Alex. I'm focusing on healing and moving forward, one day at a time. Update 2. It's been 2 months since my last update. A lot has happened, and I'm still trying to process it all. First, the divorce is proceeding. Megan isn't contesting anything, which I suppose is the least she could do. We're selling the house and dividing the assets. It's painful, dismantling the life we built together, but it's necessary. As for Alex, that situation has become more complicated. After I confronted him about the blackmail, he seemed genuinely remorseful. He begged for a chance to make things right. Against my better judgment, I agreed to hear him out. We met at a neutral location, a park where we used to play as kids. It felt fitting, somehow. Alex broke down almost immediately. He confessed that he had been using our shared business to fund his own secret ventures. He had gotten in over his head with some risky investments and was desperate for money. I was afraid to tell you, he said. You've always been the successful one, the one with all the answers. I wanted to prove I could do it on my own. I was stunned. All this time, I thought we were equals in the business. I had no idea he felt this way. Why didn't you just talk to me? I asked. I would have helped you. He shook his head. I was too proud. And then one thing led to another, and suddenly I was in too deep. I felt a mix of anger, pity, and sadness. My brother, who I thought I knew so well, had been carrying all this inside him. I'll make it right, he promised. I'll pay back every cent. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust again. Part of me wanted to believe him. He was my brother, after all. But the wounds were still too fresh. I need time, I told him. I can't just forgive and forget. He nodded, understanding. Over the next few weeks, Alex worked tirelessly to make amends. He provided full documentation of his secret dealings and worked with our company's financial team to repay what he had taken. He even voluntarily stepped down from his position in the company. Meanwhile, I threw myself into work, trying to keep my mind off the mess my personal life had become. That's when I noticed Tasha, one of our senior managers, watching me with concern. One day, she approached me after a meeting. John, are you okay? You seem different lately. I hadn't told anyone at work about the situation with Megan and Alex, but something about Tasha's genuine concern made me open up. We went for coffee, and I told her everything. She listened without judgment, offering support and, surprisingly, some valuable advice. She warned me to be cautious about trusting Alex again too quickly. People like that, she said, they're good at manipulation. They know how to say what you want to hear. I appreciated her concern, but part of me still wanted to believe Alex could change. He was my brother, after all. We had been through so much together. As the weeks passed, I found myself spending more time with Tasha. She became a source of support and stability in my chaotic life. There was no romantic interest, we were both adamant about keeping things professional, but her friendship was invaluable. With Tasha's encouragement, I started to focus on rebuilding my life. I bought a new place, started some new hobbies, and even considered dating again, though I wasn't quite ready for that yet. As for Alex, I'm still cautious, but I'm giving him a chance to prove himself. He's been consistent in his efforts to make amends, both personally and professionally. It's a long road ahead, but for the first time in months, I feel a glimmer of hope. The betrayal still hurts, and I don't know if I'll ever fully trust either Megan or Alex again. But I'm learning to move forward, to focus on the good things in my life. It's not easy, but I'm getting there, one day at a time. Update 3: It's been 6 months since this whole ordeal began, and I'm finally starting to feel like I'm on solid ground again. The divorce from Megan is finalized. It was a clean break in the end. She didn't contest anything and seemed genuinely remorseful throughout the process. I hope she finds peace and learns from this experience. As for Alex, things took an unexpected turn. Despite his efforts to make amends, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was still off. Tasha's warning about manipulation kept ringing in my ears. I decided to confront Alex one last time, to get to the bottom of everything. We met at our old family home, now empty and waiting to be sold. As soon as we sat down, I laid it all out. Alex, I need the whole truth. No more lies, no more half-truths. What's really going on? For a moment, I thought he would deflect again. But then something in him seemed to break. He started talking, and once he started, he couldn't stop. Alex confessed that he had always struggled with feelings of inadequacy, especially when it came to me. Our parents, though loving, had often compared us, usually to my advantage. While I thrived under pressure, Alex felt overlooked and undervalued. You were always the golden child, he said, his voice bitter. Top of the class, star athlete, successful businessman. I was just Alex, your little brother. I was shocked. I had no idea he felt this way. In my eyes, we were a team, equals. He went on to explain that his affair with Megan wasn't just about desire. It was about feeling valued, desired, powerful. For once, he said, I had something you didn't. Something you wanted. As he spoke, I felt a mix of emotions, anger at his actions, pity for his pain, and guilt for not seeing his struggle sooner. Why didn't you ever tell me? I asked. He shrugged. Would it have mattered? You can't help being you. We talked for hours, really talked, perhaps for the first time in our adult lives. I learned about his insecurities, his struggles, his desperate attempts to prove himself. By the end of our conversation, I felt drained but also lighter. There was still a long way to go, but for the first time, I felt like I truly understood my brother. I suggested that Alex consider therapy to work through his issues. To my surprise, he agreed without hesitation. I'm tired of feeling this way, he admitted. I want to be better. Over the next few months, Alex committed to therapy and to making real changes in his life. He started his own small business, separate from our family company. It was tough going at first, but I could see the pride in his eyes as he built something of his own. As for me, I'm focusing on rebuilding my life. The company is doing well, and I'm finding joy in my work again. Tasha and I have become close friends, and her support has been invaluable. I'm not ready to forgive Alex or Megan fully yet. The hurt they caused is still there. But I'm learning to let go of the anger. I'm learning to focus on my own growth and happiness. Here is the completion of the post. Looking back on this whole experience, I've learned a lot about myself, about trust, and about the complexity of human relationships. I've learned that sometimes the people we think we know best can surprise us in both good and bad ways. I've learned the importance of communication, of really listening to the people in our lives. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. The betrayal changed me, but I'm determined not to let it define me. I'm more cautious now, yes, but also more empathetic. I understand now that everyone is fighting their own battles, even if they don't show it. As for the future, I'm taking it one day at a time. Alex and I are slowly rebuilding our relationship. It's different now, more honest, more equal. We're not just brothers, we're becoming friends again. I'm not dating yet, but I'm open to the possibility. For now, I'm focusing on myself, on my work, my hobbies, and my friendships. Tasha has been an incredible friend through all of this, and I'm grateful for her support. To anyone going through something similar, I want to say this: it gets better. It's not easy, and it takes time, but you can get through it. Don't be afraid to lean on your friends, to seek help if you need it. And most importantly, don't let someone else's actions destroy your faith in yourself or in others. This experience has taught me that life can throw unexpected curveballs, but it's how we handle them that defines us. I'm choosing to move forward with hope and determination. The road ahead might not be easy, but I'm ready for whatever comes next.